Welcome to the Explainer. We have words for all sorts of things, but today we're diving into one that's really interesting. It connects something like a huge, raging storm with, believe it or not, a super formal courtroom drama. It's a word that's all about things losing their power, but also about us actively taking that power away. So think about it for a second. What could a passing storm and, say, a major crisis that's starting to calm down, what could they possibly have in common? I mean, they seem like they're from totally different worlds, right? But what if I told you they're actually going through the exact same process?
You got it. They both lessen in force or intensity. It could be the wind dying down or heated argument finally cooling off. Both are perfect examples of something just losing its punch. And our language, thankfully, has a really precise, almost elegant word for exactly this.
And that word is abate. It's such a great word, isn't it? It perfectly captures that idea of something becoming less intense, less forceful.
Okay, so let's dig in. We'll start by unpacking the most common way you'll hear abate used.
Check out this real-world example. You can almost feel the tension easing just reading it, right? The pressure on that dam, it didn't just disappear all at once. No, it progressively decreased. It lessened. It abated. That's the key. It's a gradual process. But here's where it gets really cool. Abate isn't just a passive word that describes things happening. It kind of has this split personality, and it all depends on whether something is lessening on its own or if we're the ones making it happen. So you've got these two sides of the coin. On one hand, you have things that lessen on their own. That's the intransitive use. Think of a storm just naturally running out of steam. But on the other hand, you've got the transitive use. That's when we are the ones taking action, actively trying to reduce something, like abating a public nuisance. Here are a couple of perfect examples of that first kind. Waiting for the storm to abate, or the crisis shows no signs of abating. See? In both cases, the storm or the crisis is the thing doing the action, or not doing it. We're just watching and waiting for it to lose intensity all by itself.
And now for the other side, the action-packed version. Look at these. To abate the opioid crisis. Did little to abate our concerns or even abate attacks. In every single one of these, people are the ones doing the abating. They're actively trying to reduce a crisis or lessen concerns. This is that more forceful, hands-on meaning of the word.
All right, but just when you think you've got it all figured out, there's a twist. Because abate has a whole other life, a completely different and super specific meaning inside the courtroom. So what do you think happens when a legal action abates? Does it just mean the lawsuit gets a little less intense? Maybe the lawyers yell a bit less? Well, not quite. See, in the legal world, abatement is absolute. It's not about lessening, it's about ending. Completely. When a lawsuit abates, it's defeated. It becomes null and void. It's basically struck down. Game over. And this is a really big deal, especially in estate law. Just imagine someone's will promises to give away more money and property than they actually have. Yikes. What happens then? Well, the law has to step in and decide whose inheritance gets reduced or maybe even wiped out completely. And you better believe there's a strict legal order for how this all goes down. It's called the order of abatement. The law reduces or abates these gifts in a very specific sequence to make sure debts get paid. They start with property that wasn't even mentioned in the will, and the very last things to be touched are those specific, special items someone wanted a particular person to have. Okay, so now that we have these different meanings in our heads, let's put abate up against some of its closest relatives, its synonyms. Because, getting the subtle differences between these words can make you sound so much more precise. And this table just lays it all out so clearly, you can really see the different flavors here. A storm abates, that suggests a progressive diminishing. Protests subside, that's more about the turmoil just stopping. Enthusiasm wanes, which has this feeling of something good fading away. And your confidence can ebb, just like the tide going out. Each word paints such a specific picture, doesn't it? To really get a word, I think it helps to look at where it came from. And abate has this surprisingly forceful backstory that honestly explains a lot about its split personality. So the word first showed up in English way back in the 14th century, and it came from the Anglo-French word abate. But check this out. Its original meaning was way more violent. It meant to strike down or to fell, like chopping down a tree. You can actually still hear a little echo of that in the modern French word battre, which means to beat. So over centuries, abate has really mellowed out.
It's made this incredible journey from a very physical act of striking something down, which, hey, you can still see in that legal meaning of killing a lawsuit, all the way to this more gentle, abstract idea of something dying down all on its own.
So now that any confusion has hopefully abated, what will you abate next? It's a fun thought, right? The next time you hear about a storm abating, you'll know that the word itself is carrying this hidden history of a much more forceful action. It's a perfect little reminder of how our language is always evolving, softening a powerful strike into a gentle whisper over time.